season 2, episode 8. He did a whole show about me and him. There's an actor playing me and there's an actor playing him, but you have to. Nobody ever does it. You got to write it down. Young Rock season 2, episode 8, Corpus Christi. It's called, and it tells you it lets you hear us in the ring talking what I tell him to do, and he commentates the whole thing. It's pretty cool. I tell you, I had some journey in life, but it's not over. My new goal is to influence others, to tell them that they could do the same thing. It doesn't have to be wrestling. You all have the power to achieve anything you want in life just by just by believing in yourself. You don't know how strong that is. When you believe in yourself, no one can take that away from you because your belief is so strong. You're the only one in the world that can tell yourself whether you could do something or not because you own yourself. I love that. I love saying that, and I say that to women the most because I don't want to hear no shit that you can't do something because you're a woman. Because women have the strength and more intellect than men to accomplish any goal you want. And an example of that is Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte. She could beat any guy at any sport. I put her against any transsexual. I put her towards. She's a natural athlete, and she's a woman. But she's a powerful, athletic woman. But she's still hot, But there's not many wrestling fans. You all guys that know who Charlotte Flair is.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the sweetest person in the world. But Rick told me, he says she beat every guy at every sport in her school. She's unbelievable, and she never wanted to be a wrestler. And then one day she was with her brother at the Hall of Fame, and her brother says, uh, "Charlotte, well, you can do that." She goes, "No, I don't want to do. I can't do that. I don't want to do that." Then her brother unfortunately passed away at a young age, and then she took that message and she said, "I'm going to do it for my brother's memory," and she did it. And she not only did it, she excelled to a level probably greater than any of the girls.
I
So
have a question for you.
go for it.
What was your job in the wrestling business, right? Like,
Well, at first I wrestled for 15 years straight, 17 days a month. Then I was given full control of the interview room, which we call the pre-tape room,
yes.
where they would give me each talent. Like like Roman Reigns, for example. I interviewed him before he even was a wrestler. Sasha Banks, Mark Henry, everyone, and they weren't even stars yet. So I was in charge of that. And then what was cool about that is we used to have a celebrity GM, general manager, every week, and I got to interview every single one of them. So I got to sit down with Kevin Hart and like 3 feet away and just talk to him. And I got Hugh Jackman, Ozzy Osbourne, Snoop Dogg. I interviewed so many people.
No, no. When I mean your job, meaning like in the ring,
Oh,
right?
my
Like,
job was to enhance.
were you there to put wrestlers over? Because
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
In the beginning, I was an enhancement talent. So
okay, got it,
there's no winners or losers. There's winners and there's star makers,
got it.
because the enhancement talent tells the talent that you think is strong and powerful what to do. And I hid all their weaknesses and I accentuated all their strengths. And I got so good at it that in 5 years, Bobby Heenan came up to me and says, "Now you know how to wrestle. Now we're going to teach you how to make money." And he put me in his family. That was the biggest break of my life because in the family was Andre the Giant, it was Kurt Hennig, it was Rick Rude, and the Brooklyn Brawler right in there, you know. And then when he did that, I started winning every single night. Every single night, he would walk out with me. But the only problem is I didn't have Steve Lombardi to put me over to make me look good, because the other guys don't do it the way I do it. So what I did was I told them what to do. So, but the wrestling business,
Were you comfortable being in that position?
I chose that position.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Because, first of all, if I would have told Vince, no, I want to be pushed, I want to be a star, I want to be this, yeah, he probably would have did it, but it would have lasted about 5 years. My way, it lasted 32 years because
Mm.
I was four different characters too. I was Doink the Clown. I was Kim Chi. I was Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. So believe me, I would rather make others look good than make myself look good. But people never knew that until now. They thought I was losing, but I was really building the star, making him look like he was a tough son of a bitch. But it's an art. It's like what I did with Rock. I made the people really, they didn't believe in him at all. They hated him when he first got in there. Then I made him do something where I said do a couple of fancy moves to show he had agility, and then they still booed him. And then I kicked him in the stomach, beat the hell out of him to show that I could beat the shit out of him. And then they didn't believe in him. They started cheering me. And I flipped him over and grabbed him in a hold. And he said, "What do I do now?" And I said, stick your arm out, and shake your hand slowly and raise it to your head." And when he did that, the people started going silent because they thought he was recovering. So we were standing up when he got to his head, I says, "Give me two elbows, throw me around the ring like you've been in the business for 20 years, and then beat me with a sunset flip." And when he did that, the whole 15,000 people in Corpus Christi stood up and said, "We love Dwayne. We love Dwayne." I just turned him around. It's so easy. I could take anyone in this space, go in the ring with them, and make them look like they wrestled 20 years. Because
I was about to say, hold on, we ain't wrestlers, nigga. Why you gonna whoop
Yeah,
our
yeah,
ass?
yeah. So
I,
you could do
I would,
you still have that in you to make
yeah,
somebody?
I
yeah.
would love
I would
that.
tell you
I would
just what
love
I
that.
do. I would walk up to you. I would give you hell. I would shove you twice. I would say, "Shove me once." As soon as you shove me, I take the fall. Then I would say, and then just go for an elbow, and I'll move. And you go for an elbow, I'll move. I could talk the whole thing. I could,
Oh
I could,
wow.
I
Do
could tell
y'all be
you.
talking the fight while y'all be kind of wrestling? I never paid attention to y'all mouths while watching
Yeah,
it.
you're not supposed to see us talking,
Okay.
but we're whispering. You learn to talk without moving your lips.
Do you
Can we? Oh, sorry. Can I ask a question, Flip? Or
sure.
I was gonna say, can we wake it up a little bit? I appreciate the motivation, but can you maybe tell us like some stories or stuff that maybe we didn't get to see as like viewers, or
Yeah,
some stuff that happened
yeah.
like
You know,
backstage,
backstage. Well,
or like anything interesting or funny that we just didn't wouldn't have known from watching the show?
there's a lot of stuff. Did you know Ultimate Warrior? You remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He was the Dingo Warrior, and I wrestled him like 47 consecutive days in a row. And then the one time the office walked up to me backstage and they said, "We're going to test his attitude, and we're going to have you beat him." And I knew that Warrior might have made a big stink over it, so I took him in the room quietly, and I smartened him up. I said, "Jim, they're going to ask you to lose to me. You just say anything for business." And he did it. And then they made him Ultimate Warrior. So and then they put him in the Hall of Fame, and he was in a private dressing room. And I walked into the dressing room, and he started crying because he says, "Oh my God, I was just thinking about you, what you did for me. You actually smartened me up, or I didn't. They pushed me after that." I said, "He goes, be prepared to stand up. I'm going to tell the whole story." I said, "Jim, you can't tell the story. I work for the company, and if you tell that story, they're going to say we can't tell him nothing because he goes back and tells the guy." I said, "Please don't." And he went, fuck, it was 30 years ago. It was 30. I said, "Jim, please, I don't care if it was 100 years ago. You can't do it because I'm presently in the company and everybody's going to turn around and look at me like I wasn't supposed to tell you, you know?" And he goes, "All right." She goes, "But stand up anyway." So he got into the Hall of Fame and he says, "Where's Brooklyn Brawler? Could you please stand up?" I stood up. He goes, "Steve took all my abuse and anguish and always kept a good attitude, and for that I thank him." That's all he said. But you see my point where that would have made me look like they can't tell me nothing.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I did it because he was my friend. And I actually took a picture with him the day before he died.
Oh wow.
I got the picture. I post it once in a while, but yeah, it was an interesting life. I was Doink the Clown too. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was washing my car outside one day, and then Vince McMahon called the house. My wife came out and said, "Vince is on the phone," and I says, "Vince, yeah." I said, "Vince, what's up? What do you need?" He goes, "I need you to do me a favor, pal." I said, "Anything." He goes, "I know that." He goes, "I need you to fly to Calgary and wrestle Bret Hart for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship." I said, "I could do that easily. I wrestled Bret a million times. I had his debut match." And he goes, but I want you to do it as Doink. I said, Vince, it's nothing to do with the wrestling. It's the paint job. You know what I mean? That's good. I never painted my face before. He goes, ha ha, I knew you were going to say that. I have it all planned. We're going to fly you from your house to Cleveland, where Matt Bourne's wife, because Matt was suspended at the time, is going to bring you the outfit to baggage claim. You get the outfit, you jump back on the plane, then you fly to Stamford, Connecticut, where the office was. And then Jill, the makeup girl, is going to teach you how to paint your face, give you all the necessities you need, and then a diagram, and then we're going to put you back on the plane and send you to Calgary. And I pulled it off. I wrestled Brett for the main event. Doink was the hottest bad guy. And when I walked through the curtain, nobody had a clue. And I just like, I turned into a clown. And then anything I did to Brett, they reacted great because I was his hometown. Like if I kicked him in his stomach, the whole place would erupt. But,
Why was he suspended?
well, whatever, personal issues.
Got it.
I don't
Got it.
want, I don't want to get into that shit. But
Got it.
he's dead now, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to disrespect anybody. He was a good guy. He was my friend.
Rest in
But it
peace.
was very strict.
Yeah, I understand.
It was very, when we were in WWE, there was no drugs, no steroids, no nothing. Even though you'd think there was because everybody was big, there wasn't. If it was, you're out. And if you smoked a joint, it's 1,000.
That ain't what they said on the McMahon
What?
doc.
What'd they say?
They on the McMahon doc, they said it was a problem at the time because I forgot the guy's name, but I guess the guy who would be like y'all kind of on site doctor or
Oh, yeah, Dr.
whatever, he would
Sahorian.
kind of, yeah, would prescribe
Yeah,
and stuff. And then there were
he was,
some guys saying that they shooted up Hogan several times, and Hogan only admitted to doing it maybe like a
yeah.
few times. But they were saying it was a lot more than what Hogan
That,
admitted to. And even Vince was saying like he wished Hogan just came
Uh,
clean
uh,
too, because with him saying it was only a little
uh,
bit, it made
no,
people
I
dig
no,
agree.
more.
yeah.
That was before the drug test, and Dr. Sahorian went to jail.
Yeah, that was before y'all started doing all the drug testing and stuff like that. And they didn't really say much once that kind of policy became adopted and stuff. But they did say it was a point in time where it was a
Hold on.
It,
Hey,
problem.
it,
hold on.
it was. I admit it was. And a lot. I never condoned steroids, but you're right. It was. Dr. Sahorian was actually arrested, sent to jail, and they took his medical license away.
Uh,
Because he used
hold,
to sell to the boys.
hold on. Oh shit. What? Yeah, Bonnie. What you got to say, Bonnie?
I just want to say I appreciate you for saying that female part, but it reminded me of this time when I first started in the industry, and a team had reached out to me and they were like, "Yeah, we want to train you to be a WWE star. Maybe you could use rapping and be a star like that." And I got so nervous because not only because of like just the stigma of the women being in that industry, but I also felt like people would receive me as masculine if I did it. So it kind of turned me off of it. Like I wish I would have pursued that more. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like it would
Probably
have
could
been a
have
good
did it. Wrestling is
opportunity.
very popular. John Cena started as a rapper. You
Yeah,
know.
I just watched the whole doc. So that's
Yeah.
why
Somebody told me I was in it. Am I in it?
they briefly they didn't go too deep into your
Yeah,
character.
but
They
I
were
passed
just
by a couple of times, and
yeah
I I
with the
never
rock story. You like the background of the rock story.
did it. They said I had his first match
They showed the match.
of me and Rock.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. But that was an experience, I'll tell you. And Rock is the richest man in Hollywood now, and I knew him when he was a poor man. I knew him since he's 14, actually. I actually had his father's first match, Rocky Johnson, in WWE. But it was an interesting life, and if I had to change my life in any way, I wouldn't change anything. But the whole purpose of me going on Spaces is to let everyone know I'm no more. I'm no special person. I'm just a person that believed in themselves, and I believed in becoming a wrestler. And everyone in this space can do the same thing. You all have it in you. If you just I wish I could just go to each person and shake them, because you all have the power of success. Just go for it, and don't let anybody tell you different. You could do anything you want. You all have greatness in you in one thing or another. Just find out what it is. Anything that you feel like you got a niche for, go for that, because you'll get there. I don't care if it's an astronaut. I don't care what it is. But you could do anything you want, especially if you got youth. You could do anything you want because my journey started at 16. I looked at wrestling magazines, Bruno Sammartino and the Valiant Brothers. And then when I was older, I had Bruno Sammartino's last match. I never dreamed that I didn't even know I was going to be a wrestler. I used to look at them because I was a bodybuilder, and they were big, big arms, big chest. But it's crazy. One time I flew all the way to Hawaii, wrestled 10 minutes, and then got on the plane and took a night flight home. Could you believe that? It's unreal. The things I've done, the places I've seen, the people I've met. I met
Yeah,
Robert Plant.
yeah,
I met
yeah, real,
Robert.
yeah,
I met Robert Plant in London. Took a picture with him. You know who Robert Plant is, right? He's the
yes.
lead singer of Led Zeppelin. He's still alive. He's about 80 now. But I know Tony Orlando. You know him. Tie a yellow ribbon round.
Hey, Booker Ball, let me ask you a question real quick. Um, how do people get in contact with you if they want to just talk to you or interview you? How do they do that?
I'm all over spaces. I go on podcasts. People do podcasts with me. I usually charge about $200. I talk to them for about 2 hours. I did a podcast with Vince Russo recently. It's on my timeline right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, but how do people reach out to you? Is there email? Oh, I see.
Yeah, on my Twitter profile is my email,
Oh, okay.
so you can contact me through there. But
Are you in New York still?
no, I'm in Michigan now.
Okay, okay. 'Cause we have a show that we work on. All right, we'll reach out to you, man.
Yeah, well, you reach out to me, and what do you do? Like Zoom interviews and stuff.
Nah, we do in person stuff. Really.
Well, you can do fly out to me.
No, if anything, we'll try to fly you out. I'll speak to the team.
Yeah, well, the dates got to match.
Of course, of course, of
Everything got,
course.
but I'd be willing to do it. Actually, I had someone come all the way from L.A. to me to do it, and I did Vince Russo's on Zoom, and
Nice.
I did that Chris Vallette. You ever hear of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did his. Oh my God, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watched it.
Yep.
He's like really. I did. Chris Jericho came to my house all the way from Florida, and we did it in my basement, and he did 1.5 million listeners.
Oh shit. So
But he has a good following.
do you fly? So you don't fly out really? You don't like flying out? Is that
No,
what?
I'll fly out but you got to pay me. I can't just, and you got to put me up in a hotel and shit. But what, what do you do?
He said it's cheaper to keep her.
I got you, Brooklyn.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we go
talk to
check out the
your partners.
email.
Talk to your partners. If you want to make it happen, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. You're
I'll,
gonna get
I'll
an
give you
email from
the
a.
interview of your life. I'll give you the. What do you go on YouTube and stuff?
Yeah.
I'll break every number you ever had, just
Okay.
just through my.
You can't break them numbers with the motivational speeches though. You gonna have to give up the goods.
I would give up the goods. I know
All
everything about
right.
WWF and WWE. I know it
He
all.
does.
I know. I'm an
Um,
encyclopedia of wrestling.
did you ever see you saw the McMahon doc on
No, I
Netflix or
didn't
no?
watch it because why? I know
Do you
Vince
plan on
because
watching
I
it?
know Vince personally, and he made me a great living. And Liongate, I think they're the ones that did it. They offered me $5,000 to be in it. I said no because they wanted me to talk dirt, and I don't knock people. I,
Ye- I mean, I understand he might have given people a living, but seeing that, mm, people in the documentary he was saying what he portrayed on the show and who he is not the same person. And then there were people in the documentary, obviously, that was like, that is literally him in
yeah.
person. Like that is how he behaves. He's very, you
Well,
know,
you know
but
what? Vince told me a long time ago. When you're a public figure, they could say anything they want about you. But you know what? I don't care because he's my friend, and I always knew him, and I know all the rumors, and I know all the things that people are saying. But you know what? I don't care.
I
You know,
respect that.
well, that's true. It's a fine line between being a businessman and being freaky.